Well, good morning to all of my viewers. This is Tebony coming to you live off my YouTube page, and I am excited about it. Um, just a little bit of reminders. I will be actually probably going live maybe one day out of the week on Facebook. Then I will transition into going live on my YouTube channel. I am still my goal is still to receive 100 subscribers so I can be identified as Trust the Process Vogue Blogging instead of being searched under the toolbar as Tebony Washington. But you all can still tune in. You all can go back and be able to hopefully watch my videos now that I am actually doing it on live YouTube. So I am at the salon right now, and I have started my day, and I have my coffee. And I am connecting to all my beautiful, amazing people out here. I want you to remember to tune in, subscribe, and tell someone about my page and bring them in too. Um, Today, I want to discuss a topic that I think a lot of us have faced or may be facing. And I want to talk about not allowing your fear to overtake your faith. Not allowing your fear to overtake your faith. I want to speak on that because a lot of times I think when we are out of our comfort zones, we are kind of like out of our element. When we actually set ourselves up to do something, we're not always being realistic to understanding that there will be times that things look like whoa. That hardship will come, that disappointment will come, but you have to remember why you started. You have to remember why you chose the path that you chose, and you have to remember to stick it out. So allow, never allow fear to overtake your faith. So, in that, even getting started, it might be some people out there that is looking to step out and try to transition into something that they have always wanted to do. And you might look at it as being like, well, I don't really know if I'm going to be able to handle everything that comes along with it. But you have to always remember when something is given to you, it is given to you for a reason. A lot of times we can go clock in and clock out for someone else, and we can't even take the time out to actually do it for ourselves, meaning doing the research, meaning stepping out. And I'm not saying just because you go into something that you ultimately just have to just stop and just say, hey, you know what, I'm no longer about to work anymore. I'm no longer about to sit and try to find other resources to make money in the process. I'm not saying just stop cold turkey and what you're doing, but what I am saying is set yourself up so that you can move forward in what your passion and what ultimately your dream or your desire is. A lot of times fear consumes us, and we don't even realize how much time we have invested in somebody else's dream, and somebody else idea, and somebody else passion. And we sometimes set ourselves up and be like, well, in a few years I'm just gonna step out and I'm just gonna do it. And then those few years come and you just say, well, I need a little more time. In a few more years I'm just gonna step out and I'm gonna do it. And lo and behold, you look up and it's almost 5 years later. um I came here in October. It'll be 2 years. And many people that honestly know me, they knew that I was talking about Texas for years, before I even acted out on it. To the point I talked about it so much, I think people was just like, yeah, Tiffany, whatever. Like, you keep saying it, but you ain't doing nothing. So it wasn't until I honestly stopped talking about it, and started preparing for it, did it truly happen. So a lot of times we have to keep things to ourselves. We have to put it into the universe. You're not always entitled to have to ask a person opinion, or just put it out there because you want to know what other people think about it, or you want to know, like, oh well, maybe if I tell them this, then they kind of give me the feeling of, yeah, am I headed in the right direction or am I not? Like, you can't go off of other people opinions and their thoughts. Reason being, because everybody purpose and what is for that individual, they may not actually be able to relate what you're going through, your transition, why you're doing it. And they can't always just give you advice when it's already been given to you, but you want to question it because of the fear that's there, the fear to be like, well, what if I fail, or what if nobody want to embrace it, or what if this just I invest in it and nothing comes out of it. But I guarantee you, fear will consume you, and it'll keep you at a comfortable place, to the point you look up and so many people, boom, they started and they're actually have elevated and on a whole different level. And you like, dang, they started or they stepped out and did the same thing that I was thinking or I wanted to do. And you look up and you be like, man, I still haven't started. I still haven't did what I was supposed to do. So you ultimately have to know that if it was something that was meant for you to do, and you say that you have the faith, and you say that you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing, then what's the hold up? That means somewhere in time something transitioned, and your fear consumed your faith. So you have to step back, and you have to turn it around, and you have to allow your faith to consume your fear. A lot of times, there's no answer to anything when you're in search of something, or when you have to walk to get to that next level. Like, there's no complete answer, because your mind is going to ultimately just move, and you're going to wonder, and you're going to sometime overthink. And we have to know basically the difference between faith, and we have to know the difference between fear. And we have to learn to not let the two intertwine with each other, just because you will then be like a double minded individual. And when you're a double minded individual, you are all over the place. I was so grateful the other day when I had someone reach out to me and they say, "Hey, give me a commercial, a 30-second commercial, and I want to put it on my show for you to be able to advertise." And if I never ever would have stepped out and started, um, this opportunity wouldn't have presented itself. And then to be able to be in a lineup with some amazing people from Pontiac that is doing great things, it was a privilege. It was an honor to me. However, if I never would have started at step one, I never would have got to step two. I never would have got to step three. I never would have got this opportunity because I wouldn't have been dwelling in my purpose and what I am supposed to be doing, because I was once operating under fear instead of faith. So you have to remember that you have to keep your um, faith at an all-time high. And you have to be aware when your spirit man is becoming weak, and you have to find uh, some way to build your faith back up, whether it's in uh, talking with someone that inspires you, whether it's reading, whether it's going to seminars, whether it's going to church, whether it's meditating, whatever works for you. You have to know when your spirit man is getting weak so you can stay operating in faith and not fear. It is a lot of people that is in transition in their mind, but is not physically in transition. And I am really starting to understand the concept of body, mind, and soul. I believe that those three have to be in alignment with each other. And when they are, you can move in perfect harmony. And a lot of times, we'll look at our lives, or we'll look at things that's going on in our lives, and we'll be like, well, I got this together, but I'm lacking a little bit on this. But I got this together, but oh, I need it to be fixed right here. So you really have to ultimately learn to bring those things to where they are in harmony together, instead of being like here, here, and here. You want to bring them out and level them out to a certain level that will help you increase far as what you are supposed to be doing in your daily walk, in your purpose, and in your faith. And once those things become in an alignment, I honestly believe that things begin to transition. So I just want you all to be reminded, when stepping out, step out on faith and not fear. Step out on knowing that this is for you, and step out and speaking highly of yourself. Some things we will never experience because of fear. And you don't ever want to look up one day and just be like, I'm not happy with my life. And a lot of times people will try to put things in place of it, but it's just a temporary fix. It's a temporary fix, just because ideally you don't want to face the fact of, hey, my season is up here. This is not for me anymore. And I'm ultimately going to have enough faith to step out on what I am currently entering into, which is a new season. So don't allow yourself to be conformed to familiar things. Allow yourself to embrace the new. Allow yourself to experiment with something different. Get out your comfort zone. Take off um, and just shoot your shot. And one thing I have learned in this process is that you are going to get dirty. You are sometimes going to hit the bottom. But the thing about it is, there's always going to be access and something there to pull you up. And that's where your faith comes in at, because you have to know without a shadow of a doubt, though things may come against me, yet will I stand, yet will I trust, yet will I push. And like one of the guys I know have told me before, and it's a cliche, people say it all the time, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And that is absolutely true. What don't kill you will ultimately make you stronger. You will seek to learn from each situation instead of always wanting to pull fear. With fear, it pulls out the negative. So when you go through something, go through it and say, what am I supposed to get out of it? Instead of looking at the negative, look at what am I supposed to get out of this? Um, One of the women that is very supportive in my life, and I think I don't think, but she's a behind the scene individual, but man, she is amazing. Davita. Um, and I call her Vita V. But I love her because she her words. She's sharp as a sword. But ultimately, her heart is amazing. And if she deals with you, she rocks with you. And she is not afraid to be truthful. She's not afraid to speak her mind, and she's not afraid to just tell it how it is. And I respect people like that. But a couple of days ago, she had posted on Facebook that her car must have needed like a new fender, because somebody basically they hit her vehicle and they sped off. And so instead of her taking it and just being like, I can't believe this, people are, this, that, and the other, she chose to make humor out of it instead of taking it and letting it just put a damper on everything. So a lot of times we have to look at when things come our way or when things come against us, we have to choose how we're going to look at it. And instead of looking at it in a negative aspect, I feel that she looked at it in a humorous form, and she went on, did the things that needed to be done in reference to the vehicle, and just left it there. And a lot of times we can take stuff because of fear, and applying fear and being so negative towards the situation, we can pull out everything that is negative about the situation, and we can't even look at the or find insight in it to see, oh well, even though this situation happened, I can say my life was spared. I can say I'm able to walk away. I can say that I'm able to still drive my vehicle. And even with situations, we always want to look at it and be like, oh, you know, well, I feel this way or I feel that way, or even when stuff come our way where we're given the choice, we're given the opportunity. And because of fear, we let it bypass us, and we be like, no, I ain't really take the opportunity because that wasn't really what I was looking for, and I ain't really want it anyway. No, just face the fact, you were scared. You had fear, so you let a good thing go because fear. You had more fear than you had faith to be like, even though I don't understand, this opportunity was given to me, I'm going to have faith enough to let it lead me through. And a lot of times we will let fear come in and it will dim down a light that was shining so bright, something that was meant for us, and it will dim it down to the point to where you look up and be like, the opportunity is not even there no more, it's gone. But that's because you had more fear than faith. So what I want you guys to do is learn to do daily affirmations. That's where I'm at in my life. I have to do them. And some days, ultimately, now I'm at a point in my life, I can tell when I haven't woke up and meditated, or I can tell when I haven't woke up and gave myself that 15 minutes of peace and quiet. And then it just seemed like stuff be like this. And I'd be like, you know what? Wait a minute. Like, but that's because, I started off in a different way. So I have to step back, I have to reevaluate, or I have to push through, and having enough faith in knowing that some things are going to turn around and they're going to work for the good. But you have to also know, in having faith, that doesn't mean that everything is always going to be peaches and cream. The whole thing about having faith is knowing that, yea, though I walk through the shadow, well, the valley of death, that I will fear no evil, or however the saying go. You guys get my drift. So therefore, you have to understand, when I walk through this valley, am I going to carry fear with me, or am I going to carry faith with me? So for all my people that is carrying fear, learn somewhere to stop in that valley, shake it off, and get your faith. Level up on your faith, and know that your faith will carry you like a compass, and it will give you certain points to where you need to go this way, you need to go that way, you need to go straight, and when you need to stop. So I am your girl, Tebony, aka Branding. Trust the process, and you have tuned in to my live YouTube video. And I just want you all to have a great, productive day, and remember to turn your fears into faith. So, you all have a great day, and always remember to trust the process. See ya.